So, about a minute or two away from picking again. Oh boy, just updating my draft board. Chris Johnson. So hopefully this guy doesn't pick Jimmy Graham. Cool. And you see, this is where I get the big advantage. So right now, it's either between an RB and a tight end because wide receiver is so shallow. Well, the next picks are so similar. So this is where you get a big advantage. So essentially, in order to disagree with my tool, you have to have a big difference in the way I value Jimmy Graham, and my rankings aren't that crazy. Make sure I find Jimmy. So that's why this is really helpful. Sometimes the pick is going to be very clear as it just was. So now it'll come back around to me. Who knows if MJD will still be there, but I can potentially pick him. Pretty straightforward. So talk you through these next couple picks. Let's see if there's any other features I can highlight. Oh, one thing I would do is you can use these this cheat sheet tab and the filters to create cheat sheets if you have a in-person draft. So right now it has all my RB1s, everything. You print that out, you can filter to only show RBs. You know, you can do RB, and then, unselect them all, whatever you want to do. But that will let you create your own custom cheat sheet using my rankings, but it's obviously much better to use the spreadsheet if you can. So now it's saying Julio Jones in the odd rounds, Cam Newton be in the even rounds. I really like Julio Jones this year. Avoid making terrible picks on Darren McFadden. The Jets, not a bad pick. Here's the other thing: if you disagree with who I may have in what order, you can always follow the positional ranking. So if you don't think Julio Jones is as good as Roddy White, then just take Roddy White instead of Julio Jones. The answer will still be correct. Like if you think if they're in the same ballpark, like the difference between that and RB is still pretty big, so I wouldn't worry about it. That's why you can be pretty confident that your answer is going to be right. But just keep that in mind when you're drafting. If you don't agree with my rankings, and I've had a few people disagree, I think my rankings have gotten better as time goes on and things have gotten a little more clear because it depends largely on how you tier players. So, for example, all these players are grouped pretty close, and there's a 20-point drop-off between LaShawn McCoy and Trent Richardson. So it's going to tell you, you've got to pick one of these players or else you're going to be stuck with a 20-point drop-off. And the tighter and better you get at making your tiers, like here's another tier, it's pretty clear, and DeMarco Murray is more than a 10-point drop. I may move Chris Johnson a little bit further down, given I don't think he's that close to Steven Jackson, but he has a lot of upside, which is why I group him there. And you get into this place where you're tiering all these players, and there's drop-off and bigger drop-offs. So the better and better you get with tiering, it really says, hey, I have this tier coming up. I need to make sure I select into this tier, or maybe the tier's not that valuable and you can avoid it altogether. So that's really how these rankings are designed. And if you want to, you can create your own rankings. I would just recommend make sure you tier those players correctly, and that's how you pick the scoring. It's not necessarily that you have to project exactly the points they score, but on a relative basis, you want to say how much better or worse someone is than someone else. So you want to make sure you have the right ranking of Dwayne Bowe relative to Eric Decker and how you feel. That will give you the right answer. So I'm going to pause this. I'll be back in a few seconds. I'm sorry these are breaking into pieces, but it's just the recording equipment I have. That's how it works. So see you very, very soon.